Hi, I'm Andrew McCutcheon, and welcome to another Saturday of Baseball Night in America on Fox. Next stop, Pittsburgh.
On a hot, humid Saturday evening in Pittsburgh, welcome to Baseball Night in America. It's the second of a three-game series at PNC Park as fans file in past the statue of Roberto Clemente. Two longtime National League rivals get together. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Chicago Cubs on Fox. Good evening, everybody. I'm Kenny Albert. Welcome to the second of 8 consecutive Saturdays of primetime baseball here on Fox. It's Baseball Night in America. Pirates won the series opener last night, 1-0. Two teams that have had trouble scoring runs as of late. As I welcome in my partner Bob Brenly, and Bob, we along with the viewers will have the pleasure tonight of watching two of the rising young stars in the National League.
Yeah, Kenny, these two offenses may have struggled, but it's no fault of these two young players. For the Pirates, Andrew McCutcheon, the Cubs have seen plenty of him. In 41 career games, he's reached base safely 38 of those ball games, batting at a .315 clip. For the Cubs' young Starlin Castro at shortstop, he picked up right where he left off last year when he led the National League with 207 base hits. He's just an amazing young player, amazing ability to make contact with the ball. You know, Kenny, Pittsburgh has 446 bridges, and both these struggling organizations are hoping that these two young stars are their bridge to the future.
Well, they both represented their respective franchise in the All-Star game last year. Many more to come for both 22-year-old Starlin Castro of the Cubs and 25-year-old Andrew McCutcheon of the Pirates.
He is safe! Boy, did he find an extra gear!
Pennsylvania on Baseball Night in America. Kenny Albert, Bob Brenly as we get set for the Pirates and the Cubs. Second of a three-game weekend set. Cubs have lost 10 consecutive games. Their first double-digit losing streak since 1997. They come in with a record of 15-30 Cubs batting order brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. The right fielder David DeJesus will lead off, followed by the shortstop Starlin Castro. The center fielder Joe Mather hits third. Brian LaHare in the cleanup spot. Then left fielder Alfonso Soriano. Third baseman Ian Stewart. Bottom of the order, second baseman Darwin Barney. The catcher Blake Lawley. And the pitcher returning to Pittsburgh to face his former team, Paul Maholm. The opening pitch brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. 31-year-old right-hander Kevin Correa with a record of 1-5 on the mound for the Pirates. He has lost his last 5 starts. And the first pitch of the game to David DeJesus misses away for ball 1.
Yeah, you'll see quite a mix of pitches from Kevin Correa. He'll sink his fastball, he'll cut the fastball, throws a slider, a curve, and a straight changeup, depending on what's working on a given night.
1-0 from Correa. Deep center field. On the run is McCutchen. And he makes the catch for out number 1.
Kenny, you mentioned the 1-5 record. You have to take into consideration the 5 losses. Tim Hudson in the Braves, Johnny Cueto in the Reds, Steven Strasburg in the Nationals, Josh Johnson from the Marlins, and most recently Max Scherzer in the Tigers. Scherzer with 15 punch-outs in that game for a career high. So he's had some tough draws on the mound in his last 5 starts.
And Correa, Bob, has not received much run support, although not many of the pitchers on either of these clubs have.
What's run support?
Strike 1 to Starlin Castro. 2 more hits for Castro last night, adding .315. Moved up to the second spot of the order by manager Dale Swain.
Just trying to jumpstart the offense, and the youngster Castro took it exactly the way you hope a young player will. He told his skipper, "I'll do anything you want. I want to win too." He's just an amazing, amazing hitter. He started all 45 of the Cubs games this year. He's hit safely in 38 of them, including 19 multi-hit games, second in the National League.
You mentioned in the open, he led the National League in hits last year with 207. He's 5th so far this season with 58. And since making his major league debut just over 2 years ago, he leads the league in base hits. 1 out, top of the first inning as Castro fouls it back. Only Melky Cabrera with more hits over the last 2 seasons than Starlin Castro.
If there's a knock on young Starlin Castro, it's the fact he doesn't walk very much. Only 4 walks going into play tonight in 184 at bats, but he makes such consistent contact. He can out-hit that lack of patience.
Makes contact here and flies out to McCutchen for out number 2. As we check out the Pirates in the field, brought to you by Scotch. From left to right, Tabata, McCutchen, and Harrison. Matt Haig at first, Neil Walker at second, Clint Barnes at short, Pedro Alvarez at third, the battery of Correa and Barajas.
Pedro Alvarez last night a couple of stunning plays, including this dive to his left with a couple of runners in scoring position to get Joe Mather at first base. He really flashed another last night.
And Alvarez also scored the game's only run.
A veritable outburst.
Fastball in for a called strike. Joe Mather batting .293, 5 hits in his last 11 at bats. 2 up, 2 down for the Cubs here in the top of the first inning in Pittsburgh. 0-1 from Correa. Line foul. Back behind third. Dan Bellino in his second major league season behind the plate tonight. The crew chief Jerry Lane at first. Bob Davidson out at second. And Hunter Wendelstedt is at third.
Talking about the lack of offense, I love the way Pirates manager Clint Hurdle put it. He didn't know he was watching baseball or World Cup soccer. 21 one-run games for the Pirates already this season. Goal!
Ready for a corner kick?
Yeah, he probably felt like screaming that when Alvarez scored that run last night.
It was an early run for the Pirates in the second inning. A 1-2 on the ground to the right side. Haig to Correa covering. A 1-2-3, 11 pitch first for Kevin Correa. Bottom of the first inning in Pittsburgh. The Pirates with a record of 21 up, 24 down. Their batting order brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you got to live Moss. Jose Tabata will lead off, followed by the right fielder Josh Harrison. Andrew McCutchen hits third. Pedro Alvarez in the cleanup spot. Then second baseman Neil Walker. First baseman Matt Haig. Catcher Rod Barajas hits seventh. Then shortstop Clint Barmas. And the pitcher Kevin Correa as the Pirates face the all-time winningest pitcher here at PNC Park. He spent the last 7 seasons as a member of the Pirates. 29-year-old left-hander Paul Maholm.
See, his numbers for this season had 2 really bad starts right at the beginning of the year, but since then he has been really good. Features a sinking fastball and a slider to left-handed hitters. He'll use the same fastball, a curveball, and a changeup to the right-handed hitters. Really looking forward to facing his old team here tonight.
Jose Tabata will lead off and swings at the first pitch. Grounds out to the shortstop Castro for out number 1. Defensively for the Cubs, brought to you by Scott's. Soriano, Mather, and De Jesus from left to right. Maher at first, Barney at second, Castro at short, Stewart at third. The battery of Maholm and Pittsburgh area native Blake Lally behind the plate.
Starlin Castro had some defensive issues last year, had some errors early in the season, but he's been playing stellar defense recently, including that great diving stop in the hole last night.
So with 1 away, here's Josh Harrison, and he takes a called strike. 0-1.
That play was actually in Houston earlier on the road trip. He made a couple nice plays in the hole last night, too. Not quite as good as that.
We saw Tabata swing at the first pitch, and most of these Pirates are facing their ex-teammate Maholm for the first time, and he said that he will try and take advantage because most of the Pirates have not faced him.
Well, and that plays right into Paul Maholm's hand. Use that sinker down low in the zone towards the outer part of the plate. Hope to get a lot of early contact and easy ground balls.
Among the Pirates starters tonight, only Barajas and Barmas have faced Maholm.
And they both have a measure of success against Paul Maholm, but the rest of this Pirates roster has never seen the left-hander before.
And Maholm facing Josh Harrison, who was drafted by the Cubs.
Yeah, former Cub farmhand, came over to the Pirates in the Tom Gorzolani deal.
Back in July of 2009.
Very versatile guy. Clint Hurdle can use him all over the field. Second base, third base, corner outfield spots. He runs well, and he's in the midst of a 10-game hitting streak.
1 ball, 2 strike count with Andrew McCutchen waiting on deck. Harrison down on strikes. First strikeout for Mahalam. Dale Swain, first-year manager of the Cubs, looking to end a 10-game losing streak here tonight.
Well, Dale will tell you he's only been responsible for 9 of them. He left the team for a day to go to his son's graduation back in Arizona. Jamie Quirk was the interim manager for that evening.
Andrew McCutchen takes a called strike. And during the 10-game losing streak, Bob, 5 of the 10 have come by just 1 run.
It's been tough to score runs for the Cubs. Not much home run power there. One legitimate home run source in the early going has been Brian LaHair.
McCutchen with an infield hit.
First finish I thought on LaHair has been struggling recently. Alfonso Soriano is starting to pick it up with the bat a little bit as far as the power goes, but they need to string a lot of base hits together in order to score runs. And Castro demonstrating his range right here, well up the middle of the field, just could not find the handle. Very little chance to get McCutchen the way he runs.
So the Pirates with their first base runner, McCutchen, coming into this game .457 against left-handed pitching.
Ooh.
So with McCutchen on at first and 2 outs, here's Pedro Alvarez. He scored the game's only run last night in the 2nd inning, driven in by Rod Barajas. By the way, those Pirates uniforms on this Memorial Day weekend, a salute to the troops, camouflage uniforms. They will wear them again tomorrow in the series finale. One and one.
Nice quick slide step that time by Mahalam. We talked about McCutchen and his prowess with the bat. He can also run. He's stolen 4 bases in 5 attempts this year, but capable of much more on the base pass.
Now 1 and 2 on Alvarez, who struggled as of late. Just 8 hits in his last 59 at bats.
Very effective pitch out of that slide step, a slow breaking pitch. The hitter naturally wants to speed up when he sees that pitcher use the slide step toward home plate, and then you throw an off-speed pitch out of the slide step. You can get a lot of hitters way out in front, like we saw for Alvarez.
McCutchen goes, the 1-2, and Alvarez gets a piece of it to stay alive. Alvarez, a New York City native, attended Vanderbilt University, 2nd pick in the 2008 Major League Draft.
Made his debut back in 2010 for the Pirates, hit .256 in 95 games. Really struggled last year, found his way back to the minor leagues, had some injury issues, but the Pirates think he is going to be a cornerstone of their offense in the future.
McCutchen takes his lead off first. He holds, and the pitch misses away. Ball 2. Now 2 and 2 on Alvarez. Mahalam, a first-round pick of the Pirates back in 2003, 8th overall selection. Spent 9 years in the Pittsburgh organization. Two balls, 2 strikes on Alvarez, 2 outs, bottom of the 1st inning. Gets away from Lally. So McCutchen now heading for third, and he is in. So McCutchen goes from first to third on the wild pitch.
Frustrating feeling for a catcher when you have no idea where that ball is behind you, and unfortunately this time it looked like the umpire Dan Bellino inadvertently was right in line between Blake Lally and where that ball rolled on the first base side over by the on-deck circle. Paul Maholm very alertly hustles in from the mound, but once again with McCutchen's speed he's able to turn a wild pitch into two bases.
McCutchen now sneaks down the line. Payoff pitch to Alvarez, and he strikes him out to end the inning. Alvarez, 54 strikeouts, second in the National League this season. McCutchen stranded on third. Brian LaHare, 10 home runs. He will lead off for the Cubs. Chevrolet is sponsored by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. And by MasterCard. Shop and pay your bills online with MasterCard prepaid cards. Kenny Albert, Bob Brentley back in Pittsburgh. Top of the second inning. First pitch, Brian LaHare up the middle for the first Cubs base hit of the game.
Has to feel good for Brian LaHare. We mentioned earlier he's really one of the few sources of power in this Cubs offense. He's been mired in a horrible slump recently. One for his last 25 in his last 9 games.
So a leadoff single for LaHare. Now Alfonso Soriano steps in. 2 for 4 last night, 4 for 16 lifetime against Correa. How about that, Bob?
Hey, there you go.
We weren't invited?
Save us a piece of cake. That's all I ask. What a beautiful night for it.
1-0 to Soriano, foul back to the screen, 1-1. First-year manager Dale Swaim telling us earlier, very impressed with Alfonso Soriano. Did not know him at all before. talked about his work ethic. He said he's a special human being, something he was not aware of on the other side when coaching against Soriano.
Yeah, especially the defensive side of Soriano's game. He had been a liability over the last number of years defensively in left field. But Dave McKay, the new first base coach for the Cubs, came over from the Cardinals after Tony La Russa retired. And Dave McKay kind of made Soriano his pet project in spring training and has really improved his defense. Soriano used to have a little hop he would do before he caught the ball. They've eliminated that. Takes much better lines in the outfield.
On the ground to the shortstop, Barnes. And the Pirates turn the 6-4-3 double play. So with 2 away, Bob, our Ford keys to tonight's game.
Well, for the Cubs, they need to bunch their hits. We mentioned not a lot of power in this lineup. That's why Joe Mather is playing tonight. Dale Swaim looking for anybody that can hit the ball in the gap or out of the ballpark. And for the Pirates, they just need to follow the lead of Andrew McCutchen and Neil Walker, two guys that have absolutely killed the Cubs in their career.
Base is empty, 2 away. Here's Ian Stewart in the lineup for the first time since Monday, playing with a sore left wrist. And on the first pitch, he grounds out to the first baseman, Haig. A 6-pitch second for Correa. No score in Pittsburgh. Chevrolet is sponsored by Bud Light Lime. Summer is calling. Back in Pittsburgh, bottom of the second inning. How about this moment? Neil Walker and Blake Lally were high school teammates in Gibsonia, Pennsylvania at Pine Richland High School.
Yeah, the battling Rams. Blake Lally was a senior second baseman pitcher. Neil Walker was a freshman catcher. Walker ended up being a first-round pick of the Pirates in 2004. Blake Lally signed as a free agent with the Cubs in 2006 and slowly made his way through the organization while Walker got to the big leagues rather quickly. But here they are together, basically playing in their hometown against each other.
What a thrill it must be for both.
Other than leaving tickets. Blake Lally said he was going to have 60 friends and family at the game tonight. I don't think he left tickets for all of them, but sure a pretty good chunk of them are on that pass list.
I hope not, or he might be playing for free. Walker batting .253. As you mentioned during our Ford Keys, .340 lifetime against the Cubs, and he raises that average with a base hit into left field.
Now Walker hits for a much better average from the right side of the plate, has both home runs from the left side of the plate. This time a ringing single into left field on a fastball inside part of the plate.
Second hit for the Pirates. They have the leadoff man on here in the second, as Matt Hague steps in. Hague started the season with the Pirates, sent down to AAA. Recalled yesterday when the Pirates designated Nate McLouth for assignment. It's been a whirlwind couple of days for Hague. On Thursday night, playing for Indianapolis, a walk-off single in the bottom of the 15th inning. And then he was called up by the Pirates after the game.
Hey, Kenny, your ride's here. Oh, what a sight. This is one of the more picturesque ballparks in all of baseball.
The Majestic passing through on the Gateway Clipper fleet. Beautiful night for baseball in Pittsburgh.
They did it right here in Pittsburgh. All their athletic facilities are right here on the same side of the river, looking across at downtown Pittsburgh and the beautiful skyline.
Hague sends this one into center field, into the glove of Mather for out number one. This ballpark now in its 12th season, opened in 2001. What were you doing that year?
I was busy. I was busy with one of the best teams you'll ever see in your life, the 2001 Arizona Diamondbacks. Very special ball club. And a very special season for Major League Baseball.
Played all the way into November. Ron Barajas takes strike one.
Well, if Tino Martinez and Scott Brocious and Derek Jeter had cooperated, we could have ended it in October, but
instead it was a shorter offseason.
There you go. Ball players never mind a shorter offseason.
No. Walker takes his lead off first, one out. Walker goes. Here's the throw from Lolly. So how about that? Walker steals on his high school teammate.
What kind of buddy is that? Well, both these teams have had issues behind the plate. Obviously, the Cubs are dinged up. Their regular starting catcher, Giovanni Soto, on the disabled list. Wellington Castillo was called up to catch. He went on the disabled list. Steve Clevenger was playing well, hitting the ball well, playing well behind the plate. He's on the disabled list. Cubs actually reached over to the Cincinnati Reds Double-A team to sign Coy Hill to come back along with Blake Lolly to handle the catching duties until they get some guys healthy again.
You haven't reached up into the broadcast booth?
Oh, they know better than that. My standard line, Kenny, is I can get down into a crouch. I just can't get up out of it anymore. And you wondered when the managers might start pushing some buttons, trying to generate some offense. I think they've both been very patient up to this point of the season, allowing their hitters to go up there and pick a pitch, allowing their base runners to run as they see fit. But you get to a point as a manager where you want to make something happen. You want to force the issue, push some buttons, play hit and run, start the runners you think can steal a base, maybe open up some holes in the defense for the guy at the plate.
And the Pirates just 4 games out in the National League Central despite .217 batting average. Last in all of baseball in runs and hits as well.
Well, for both of these managers, you have to know how the lack of offense is eating at them, because Clint Hurdle and Dale Swaim are both hitting coaches. Their background is as hitting coaches. And to watch their offenses struggle the way they have in the early going this season really has to stick in their craw. Clint Hurdle and some of those high-powered offenses out in Colorado, Dale Swaim and that juggernaut offense in Milwaukee.
And a coach in Boston with the Red Sox. Barajas draws a 1-out walk. Pirates have runners on first and second with only 1 out. Time for a DirecTV game break. We check in on the Orioles and the Royals with Matt Feskersian. Matt.
Kenny, they've wrapped it up at Camden Yards. Kansas City ends a wild 3-game slide with a 4-3 win in Baltimore. So now, as you guys know, a Rays win tonight in Boston can give Tampa Bay a share of first place in that very difficult AL East. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Back to Kenny and the new CEO of the Pittsburgh Chamber of Commerce.
Well, Bob, you have spent some quality time in this city, and it's obviously rubbed off on you.
You know, working in Chicago full time, a lot of the Cubs fans can't get tickets to come out to Wrigley Field to watch their beloved Cubs play. So we always suggest, if you're going to make a road trip, it's a pretty good place to come. Love this ballpark, love the view. And over the past few years, the Cubs and the Pirates have been very competitive, very even series.
Check is in the mail from the Chamber of Commerce.
I appreciate that.
The 1-1 to Clint Barmes. Mahala missing away. Now 2-1 with 2 on, 1 out. Walker the runner on second. Barajas over at first.
How about this, Kenny? The 2 shortstops in the ball game tonight. Starlin Castro for the Cubs, Clint Barmes for the Pirates. In 337 combined plate appearances, have drawn 6 walks.
Wow. Barmes has drawn 2 of the 6. Sends this one to deep center. Mather on the run on the warning track. He makes the catch. Moving to third is Walker. So with 2 away, the Pirates now with runners on the corners. So 2 on, 2 outs for the pitcher, Kevin Correa. 2 hits and 11 at-bats this season. Career 121 hitter. Bottom of the second inning here in Pittsburgh on Baseball Night in America. No score. 2 outs, first and third for the Pirates. Fastball missing away. Now 2-0. Now 2-1 on Correa.
His 10-game Cubs losing streak actually started on a Paul Maholm start. He received a no decision against the Cardinals. The bullpen really gave it up that particular day, but twice through the rotation, Paul Maholm still looking for the first victory.
Here's Maholm quickly off the mound, throws out Correa, and the inning comes to an end. The Pirates strand 2. When we come back, we'll chat with Pirates right-hander A.J. Burnett. to Baseball Night in America on Fox, presented by Chevrolet. From PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Kenny Albert, Bob Brentley. We move to the third inning. Cubs and Pirates are scoreless. Bottom of the order for the Cubs. Darwin Barney, the second baseman, will lead off, followed by the catcher Blake Lawley and the pitcher Paul Maholm. First pitch from Correa to Barney, in for a called strike as we welcome in the winning pitcher from last night's game, Pirates right-hander A.J. Burnett. And A.J., it seems like you really enjoyed pitching in this ballpark. A win last night and a home earned run average of 1.27.
Yeah, I do. It's a good place to play. It's a beautiful, background. I've always enjoyed coming here when I played for the Marlins a long time ago. So, so far so good.
Barney flies out to right field for out number one.
AJ, I have to ask you what it was like last night to hook up with your former teammate Ryan Dempster. You guys pitched together for the Marlins back in the early 2000s. What was that like?
That was a lot of fun. It started down the bullpen when we were warming up. He was yelling at me and asking me if I was like, AJ, you sweating? You sweating? I'm sweating. And, it went on and on throughout the game. And facing each other, we took BP all the time together and had a blast going deep back in Pro Player Stadium. So I'm sure we were trying to hit off each other pretty well. But, I saw him today, gave him a big hug, and I told him he's still nasty. That job he did last night was it's impressive.
Yeah, only 5 1/3 for you last night. The pitch count got up there a little bit early, but with the way your bullpen has been pitching this year, you probably don't mind coming out of games early as much as you used to.
Well, no. Well, me being 35 now, also, it's no. You want to go deep into games. You want to go a lot further than 5 1/3, but you're going to have those days. And like you said, these guys have came in all year, even before I came up. After I got hurt and I came back, they're doing it before that. They're solid. They got a good group down there. All starts with the closer, Joel, and then Grilly, Cruz, Brisop. I can name them all. Wadi's done a great job, and then Jared Hughes, Lincoln. Whoever's down there, you give them the ball on any given night, and it seems like they get it done. So it definitely makes it. It's not in the back of your mind when you come out, but when you're sitting in here watching and you realize that these guys are coming in behind you, you got a good chance.
Maholm with a 2-out single. So the Cubs with their second hit of the game as we continue to chat with A.J. Burnett, and we take a look at your performance in the 1-0 victory over the Cubs last night. A.J., how about returning to the National League? Of course, you spent the 7 years with the Marlins, the last 6 in the American League. What challenges have you faced? And if you could just talk about returning to the National League.
Well, the first challenge was bunting. We got that one out of the way. And took a big step moving on from there. But, it's a full game now, it seems like. You're back to hitting, you're back to bunting. You got different bump plays throughout the game. It plays different moves from the manager. It's just it's a completely different ball game over here than over there. So it's been fun. It's been a good transaction, so far. It's a great group over here. And, I guess more so being able to go up to hit again and makes you feel a little bit younger than going out and just pitching and not worrying about anything else. So it makes it fun, like you're actually playing the entire game.
And speaking of bunting, you have your back to the field, but De Jesus lays down the bunt, and the Cubs now have runners on second and third with 2 outs. I see James McDonald sitting to your right, and I guess you've been a big influence on James. You guys have worked out together, and I know he's taken a lot from watching you pitch.
He's a good kid. He's a really good kid. I haven't really done anything. I just told him to speed up his tempo a little bit on the mound, and next thing you know, he's punching tickets left and right, getting the ball back up, throwing the ball. And that's the main thing with I guess, when you watch a guy like me. I'm no all-star, no Cy Young, but I've been there. I've been through the battles, and it's how you carry yourself on the mound, and he gets the ball back now. A lot of our guys do that. Bedard, he's a good example as well. Doesn't matter where your pitch goes. Doesn't matter if they hit it. You throw it in the dirt, 8 feet high. You got your next pitch ahead of you, and that's what your focus should be on. That's what James McDonald is doing right now.
Alvarez with the throw to the plate, and Barajas applies the tag, and that will end the inning.
It's a great play. I should have saw it.
An exciting top of the third. A.J., thanks very much for joining us. Best of luck.
Anytime. Thank you, guys.
All right, A.J. Burnett, one more look. Alvarez with the bare hand grab, the throw to the plate. We remain scoreless. by Pedro Alvarez.
Boy, just tremendous judgment on his part. He's not going to get Starlin Castro at first base on that slow roller, but a nice barehanded throw. And look at Rod Barajas, just decoyed and then ultimately stuck that left leg out there as Mahalam jumps over the top. Barajas applies the tag. That's just great field awareness on the part of Pedro Alvarez, knowing where the out was. It wasn't going to be at first base.
As well as a Vanderbilt education.
There you go.
Top of the order for the Pirates here in the bottom of the third inning. Jose Tabata leading off. Pirates have had a runner reach third in each of the first 2 innings, but have been unable to score. Tabata grounded out to the shortstop Castro his first time up. So Mahalam facing the top of the order after spending some time on the base paths in the last half inning.
Yeah, that's always a factor. Paul Mahalam's in great condition. You'd like to think he can make his way around the bases and have a tag play at home plate and still go out and do his job. But we've seen some pitchers that are highly affected by the offensive part of the game.
Two-one hits Tabata. He heads down to first. So the leadoff man is on for the Pirates here in the third. Time for a DirecTV game break. We check in on the Rangers and the Blue Jays with Matt Vasgersian.
Kenny, wild finish. Toronto had scored 2 in the 13th to take a 7-5 lead, but this is what the great ones do. Josh Hamilton wins it with a 2-run home run in the bottom of the inning. His major league leading 20th, 53 runs batted in. We're not even through the Memorial Day weekend. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DIRECTV. Kenny and Bob, back to you.
All right, thanks, Matt. We saw Ron Washington out of the dugout to celebrate. Josh Hamilton with his 20th home run of the season.
Wow. Cubs have 31, Pirates have 35. They better pick up the pace a little bit or Josh Hamilton will blow right by both of them.
Incredible. Another Josh Harrison at the plate for the Pirates. He has 1 home run this season. Struck out his first time up. A look at Josh Hamilton's numbers. Tabata on at first. He was hit by the pitch. That is a National League leading 6th hit batsman by Mahalam.
Well, that's something the Cubs determined back in the Cactus League in spring training. They were going to try to command that inside part of the plate, and occasionally they're going to plunk a hitter or 2 over the course of a season, or 3 or 4 or 5.
Harrison lays down the bunt. So a successful sacrifice for Harrison. Tabata moves to second.
Nicely disguised by Josh Harrison. Doesn't show it too quickly. He and Stewart right there, but no play at second base. Tabata got a good jump off of first. Harrison with the sac bunt, moving a runner into scoring position here.
So Tabata on at second for Andrew McCutchen. Infield hit his first time up, and now he will be intentionally walked by his former teammate Paul Mahalam.
Well, if you're the Cubs, this makes a lot of sense. Andrew McCutchen has killed the Cubs in the past. He's without a doubt the hottest hitter in this Pirates lineup, hitting over 370 in the month of May. And you got a left-handed hitter in Pedro Alvarez in the on-deck circle. Pretty easy move.
So Alvarez with 2 on, 1 out. As we mentioned earlier, grew up in New York City.
I was born in Dominican Republic and grew up all my life in New York City. Baseball kind of just ran in our family. A bunch of my uncles played, not professionally, but just kind of runs in the blood. And then where I grew up, I was a predominantly Dominican neighborhood, and all the kids played baseball. And my dad said for as long as he can remember, I kind of carried a bat around my hands. And
is off to a good start tonight. In his third season with the Pirates, great defensive play to keep this game scoreless in the last half inning.
Pretty good chance he's going to see a steady diet of breaking pitches on the outer half of the plate. Mahalam uses that sinker effectively on the right-hander to get the ground balls he's looking for. Against the lefties, he likes to throw that slider on the outer third with some downward movement, try to get that rollover grounder.
One and one on Alvarez. I think A.J. Burnett's upset with us. He had to turn his back for that entire half inning and did not have a chance to see that great play by Alvarez.
Yeah, you can see the video later. I'm sure they have a state-of-the-art video room here at PNC Park, especially on that home side. You can check it out.
The 1-1 and a blue base hit into right center. Here's Tabata heading home. He will score. Safe at third is McCutchen. 19th run batted in for Pedro Alvarez. The Pirates take a 1-0 lead.
Alvarez showed great instincts defensively, making that play at the plate rather than trying to throw to first base, and shows good instincts in the batter's box as well. I was just talking about Paul Mahalam and the slider to left-handed hitters. As Chris Bosio is going to make his way out to the mound. Now, Paul Mahalam with a slider that's up and out over the plate. He saw it on the first pitch. Mahalam came back with a fastball for a called strike, and when he tried to slip another slider in there, Alvarez was all over it for a base hit into right center field. Good aggressive base running by McCutchen to turn the corner at second and advance on to third. We'll get a look at the pitch by pitch of that last at bat. There's the first pitch slider way off the plate away. He comes back with the sinking fastball on the outside corner and then goes back to the slider but leaves it up over the plate. Alvarez all over at that time.
Mahalam started the inning by hitting Tabata with a pitch. Then the sacrifice laid down by Harrison. Intentional walk to McCutchen. Tabata driven home by Alvarez. Pittsburgh with the game's first run. One run was enough for the Pirates last night. As Walker takes a called strike. Singled, stole second his first time up. First and third, only one out, bottom of the third inning here in Pittsburgh. See Walker's numbers. Pirates as a team batting only .212 with runners in scoring position. Cubs can sympathize with that. Two balls, one strike on Walker. Pirates with a run on one hit, an intentional walk, sacrifice, and a hit batsman here in the third. 2-1 to Walker, swinging a miss, now 2-2.
That's key for Mahalam, regardless of who he's facing on a given night. The ability to throw something other than a fastball in obvious fastball counts. Most of the time he's got pretty good sink on his heater, but if you put him in those 2-0, 2-1, 3-1 counts where a hitter can sit on a fastball, it's going to be a very short night for the Cubs lefty. He needs to be able to throw his changeup and his breaking pitches when he's behind in the count. You can see the sweat dripping off the cap of Paul Mahalam. He's soaked completely through that hat. When the game started, it was the same color as the uniform.
Temperatures in the 90s today here in Pittsburgh. Mahalam has already thrown 53 pitches with only one out in the third. Right field to Jesus. McCutchen tags. Pirates lead 2-0. Sacrifice fly, RBI number 15 on the season for Neil Walker. On this beautiful Saturday evening in Pittsburgh, tonight's aerial shots are brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, and Bob, I know you do, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Two runs in the inning for the hometown Pirates. RBIs for Alvarez and Walker. Here's first baseman Matt Haig flying to center his first time up. Hit it to left field for Haig. So the Pirates with runners in first and second now for Rod Barajas.
Maybe that trip around the bases took more out of Paul Maholm than we thought. Pirates really teeing him up here this inning, and I know Dale Swain would like to get some length out of his left-hander only because the Cubs bullpen has not been nearly as effective as the Pirates. Pirates with their .234 team bullpen ERA leading the National League. The Cubs a full 2 runs more than that. They really had issues throwing strikes, giving up the long ball. 5-11 record out of the Cubs bullpen this year.
Remember, Maholm was tagged out at the plate by Barajas to end the last half inning, and now Barajas facing Maholm for the second time tonight. He walked back in the second inning. Seventh batter of the inning for the Pirates. Ball one, says first base umpire Jerry Lane. Pirates in this half inning, 2 base hits, an intentional walk, a hit batsman, a sacrifice bunt, and a sacrifice fly. 1-1 to Barajas. Fouled off up above the Pirates dugout. Now 1-2.
You notice that white spot on the back left side of Paul Maholm's hat. One area he hasn't sweat completely through on his hat. That's just rosin from the rosin bag behind the mound. After he goes to the bag, he readjusts his hat and leaves his fingerprints up there on top of his hat.
You catch that in the shot from the blimp?
Yeah, I did. Maybe not.
I think I see it. Now the 2-2 to Barajas in the dirt, full count.
Talking about bullpens, Paul Maholm's never been in one.
Career record of 57-76. 53 of the 57 wins with the Pirates, 4 this season with the Cubs. Runners go, payoff pitch to Barajas, ball 4. Bases are loaded for Clint Barmas. Second time Barajas has walked tonight, only 6 walks over his first 32 games, 2 in 2 plate appearances tonight. So here's Barmes, who has terrific lifetime numbers against Mahalam. 13 of 28 with 2 home runs. Flight out to the warning track in center field. Back in the second inning. Two runs in, 2 outs. Bottom of the third inning, bases loaded. As Barmes fouls it off down the right field line. No balls, 2 strikes, 30th pitch of the inning coming up for Mahalam.
See the career numbers for Barmes against Mahalam. However, a lot of that damage was done very early on. He's 1 for his last 7 against the Cubs lefty.
With the bases loaded, the 0-2. Mahalam missing away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Another foul.
Well, we've talked at length in the early going about the lack of walks for both of these offenses. Very aggressive swinging teams, and I think both managers would just take some good hitters counts once in a while. You'd like to see some base on balls to set the table for guys hitting behind you in the order, but I think both managers would be content if their hitters could just get into some good hitters counts. The Pirates have done a much better job of that tonight than the Cubs.
Mahalam battling his way through this bottom of the third inning. Two to Barmes. Another foul. This one off to the right side.
This is definitely a pitch of action. There's 2-2 with 2 outs and bases loaded. You definitely don't want to go to a full count and have all 3 runners on the move.
Kevin Correa waiting on deck. Should Barmes reach? 8th pitch of the at-bat. Castro with the toss to Barney, and that will end the inning. Pirates take a 2-0 lead over the Cubs. Lead over the Chicago Cubs on Baseball Night in America. Kenny Albert with Bob Brenly as we welcome in live from Manny's Barbecue, a legend here in the city of Pittsburgh. A three-time All-Star, two-time World Series champion, Manny Sanguillen. Manny, thanks for taking a couple of minutes to join us here on the telecast.
Anytime. So how you guys doing?
Well, we're doing pretty good, Manny. Not as good as you, though. Sitting back in the easy chair, looking good.
You know that's hard work.
How much fun, Manny, is it for you as Joe Mathers steps in to lead off for the Cubs? How much fun to still come out to the ballpark every day?
I love everything. I love the fans, and I love to talk to people. And now we're going to franchise the barbecue sauce to sell it to anybody who wants to do something home.
Very nice as Mather grounds out to Alvarez on the first pitch of the inning.
Boy, Manny, you played on some great Pirates team over the course of your career, but for me personally, I remember you as a member of the Columbus Jets back in 1968. I grew up in Ohio and watched you play a lot of games.
Oh, that's wonderful. You know what? I'm making the Hall of Fame in Columbus, Ohio, and now they said, and I joined the Latino Hall of Fame too in 11 in Dominican Republic. I love Columbus, Ohio. Matter of fact, it was my favorite town in the United States.
Wow, so a member of the Hall of Fame in Columbus, Ohio. Here's Brian LaHare. LaHare singled up the middle his first time up. One of Manny's former teammates, Steve Blass, of course, up in the Pirates broadcast booth. And you guys won a world championship together back in 1971.
He's a wonderful person. I love Steve Blass and everybody else. So I'm in TV, please. I'm talking in the TV. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Thank you.
You're losing a cell, Manny.
Yeah, no, I come back. No, Steve Blass was a tremendous pitcher. He was my favorite pitcher. And any time it's a big game, he show up. And he want to do it.
And Steve's still going strong up in the Pirates booth. One out, top of the fourth inning, as Correa delivers to LaHare, and he sends this one to deep right field. Back on the warning track is Harrison, and he makes the catch for out number 2. As we continue to chat with Manny Sanguillen. Manny, what's your favorite item on the menu?
I like the what you call the pork sandwich. That's my favorite.
Is that the top selling item?
It's one of the top sellers. Now we're selling the stock, and the stock is doing good because people like a big portion.
Here's Alfonso Soriano with 2 outs. How about this 2012 Pirates ball club? Your thoughts, and who are some of your favorite players to watch?
I love how they play. I love to watch Andros, Pedro, and Walker, Tabata, and I'm glad that they bring a big Mike Hayes. He's going to help us. So I'm a good friend with Hammond and everybody. They're all my friends. I go to spring training with them. So we get together, have a great time.
Well, Manny, I know you couldn't see it, but Alfonso Soriano takes Correa deep for his 5th home run of the season, cutting the Pirates' lead in half.
Well, you know, Correa throw a strike down, and he challenged everybody, so that's the game, you know. Alfonso, you know, he's a great hitter, so he's always having that power.
A 2-1 lead now for the Pirates following the Soriano home run. Manny, thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations on a terrific career, and hopefully you sell some more pork sandwiches tonight.
Oh, thank you. And I'm going to say thank you, Roberto Clemente and Willie, and everybody can take care of myself and Bill Mazeroski and the rest of the Pirates. Okay, thank you.
All right, you got it. Thanks, Manny.
You're welcome.
Bob, can anything wipe the smile off Manny Sanguillen's face?
I don't think so, man. I'll tell you. And that picture of Manny and Steve Blass jumping around on the field, just unbridled enthusiasm. That's why guys play the game. For that feeling right there. Game 7 of a World Series. You've accomplished what you set out to do in spring training. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. That's a wonderful picture.
2-1 now on third baseman Ian Stewart.
Boy, and for the Cubs, that's a good sign. Alfonso Soriano starting to heat up with the long ball. He's a guy that throughout his career has always been a very streaky power hitter. And when he gets into one of his good streaks, he can carry a team for weeks at a time.
Career home run number 345 for Soriano. 2-1 to Stewart, missing away, now 3-1.
Soriano's made a slight adjustment, gone to a little bit of a lighter bat this year. He has historically used one of the heaviest bats in the game, but he got a fastball out over the plate where he could extend his arms, and he knew it the moment he made contact.
And now Stewart draws a 2-out walk. First walk issued by Correa tonight. Today's game is sponsored by Roundup brand, kills weeds to the root so they don't come back. And by Ford, go further. Kenny Albert, Bob Brentley in Pittsburgh. Top of the fourth inning. Alfonso Soriano with his 5th home run. Pirates scored 2 in the bottom of the 3rd. And now Barney sends this one into the right field corner, foul. Barney flying to right his first time up. Nice play by Correa. And that will end the inning. Cubs on the board. Soriano goes deep. 2-1 Pirates. Kevin Correa grounds out to the shortstop Castro on the first pitch here in the bottom of the 4th inning from Paul Maholm. A look at the site of Ford's Field, former home of the Pirates.
Can't even play a wiffle ball game there now.
You could try.
Yeah, you could always squeeze in a wiffle ball game.
University of Pittsburgh campus. So one away, here's Tabata, who was hit by a pitch his last time up and came around to score the Pirates' first run. On one hop, backhanded by Castro. What a play. So quickly 2 away. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, after Mahalam allowed 2 runs in the 3rd. We take a look back. Most starts by a Pirate left-hander over the last 80 years. John Candelaria, Bob Veal, Jim Rooker, and 4th on the list, Paul Mahalam.
There you go.
He started 185 games with the Pirates, winning 53. The all-time leader in starts, wins, and strikeouts here at PNC Park. In fact, prior to the series, Clint Hurdle's 9-year-old daughter asked her dad to come home with a Paul Mahalam autographed baseball for her.
He's a very popular player as a member of the Pirates here.
Center field, and Mather makes the running catch. So after throwing 35 pitches, Bob, in the 3rd, he retires the side on 6 pitches in the 4th. Move to the 5th. Blake Lally will lead off against Kevin Correa. Lally grounded out to the shortstop Barmes, his first time up. Now, we were just talking about John Candelaria. It has been brought to my attention, Bob, that during your career, you were a .500 hitter, 15 for 30 against the Candyman.
It just goes to show you, Kenny, you just can't explain anything in this game. One of the nastier, funkier left-handed pitchers in the history of the game. I was a .247 lifetime hitter, but for whatever reason, I could see the ball really well against the Candyman.
So .247 lifetime average. If you had never faced Candelaria, what would it have been?
I don't even want to think about it.
Lally flies out to Harrison for the first out as we see 3 of the 466 bridges you mentioned earlier
I rented a kayak today and paddled my way around Pittsburgh and counted.
I think you missed one.
Well, that's possible.
Mahalam takes a call strike from Correa. Mahalam singled back in the third inning. And then he was tagged out by Barajas on the throw from Alvarez to end the inning. Terrific defensive play by Pedro Alvarez, who would then drive in the Pirates' first run.
And he scored their only run in the ball game last night. So Pedro Alvarez has been a busy man for the Buccos the last couple days.
Mahalam went around. First strikeout of the night for Correa. Well, tomorrow NASCAR at Fox will be in Charlotte. Defending champion Kevin Harvick and points leader Greg Biffle lead the world's best drivers in a chase for the checkered flag. Fox Sports is proud to bring you exclusive coverage of Sprint Cup Series racing with the Coca-Cola 600 live from the Charlotte Motor Speedway tomorrow, 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific. Bit of a different track than that. So with 2 outs, here's De Jesus, and he takes a called strike. Reached on an error his last time up.
I'll tell you, in a lineup full of free swingers and aggressive hackers, David De Jesus is a breath of fresh air for Dale Swing. He's a guy that'll see a lot of pitches every at bat, take his walks, get on base. He's a leadoff hitter, but he's yet to steal a base this season.
He's been caught 4 times. 8 years in Kansas City, spent last year in Oakland.
That's something the new regime in Chicago, as we move forward, I think you're going to see more and more players of David De Jesus' ilk. Guys who will take walks, who will work deep counts, who will run up pitch counts on opposing starters. And it's no secret around baseball. If you can get into a team's middle relief, you have a much better chance of winning a ball game. That's usually every team's Achilles heel. Those long relievers that have to come into the ball game early when the starter comes out because of an elevated pitch count.
One-two from Correa, just missing away. 2 balls, 2 strikes on De Jesus.
Well, the Cubs historically have not been much of a base stealing organization. This season, 33 stolen bases, 26 of those between 2 players. Starlin Castro with 13, Tony Campana with 13. And they're a base stealing team when those 2 guys happen to get on. Campana available potentially as a pinch runner in the game tonight, should it be a big run.
Base hit down the left field line, and then it bounces away from Tabata. And at second with a stand-up double is David De Jesus.
The 11th double of the season for De Jesus. A late swing on a fastball up and out over the plate puts it right down that third base stripe. That's Clint Barmas, the shortstop. He's played enough games in this park to know that if that ball hits that sidewall, it's just as likely to ricochet back toward the infield. So the shortstop, Clint Barmas, was on his way out, but waved off by the left fielder Tabata.
So a 2-out base runner for the Cubs here in the 5th. Starlin Castro 0 for 2. Bob, as you well know, the Cubs were 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position last night. Now 0 for their last 26 overall. As DeJesus takes his lead off second. Ball 2 to Castro, now 2-0. For 26, 4 for 41.
That's a rough stretch. Just the law of averages would say that some of those hard hit balls will drop in, get through, roll one up the middle.
Deep right field, into the corner. And the Cubs break out of the 0 for 26 with runners in scoring position. On his way to third is Castro. He is in. And now will attempt to get back. He does. Cubs have tied this game at 2. Team leading 26th run batted in of the season for Starlin Castro, scoring David DeJesus, who had doubled.
Good patience early in the at-bat to get in that 2-0 hitters count. Gets a ball up and out over the plate, stays right on it, drives it down into that right field corner where Josh Harrison nearly made a nice running catch. David DeJesus in the meantime has come around to score, and then we start throwing the ball all over the field.
Castro jumps out of the way. It's his 4th triple of the season. So after Correa retired the first 2 Cubs in the inning, a DeJesus double and then a Castro triple.
Yeah, Correa missed with 2 cutters, one away, one in the dirt. Here's the 2-0 pitch. We talked about the managers wanting their batters to try to get in favorable counts, and that time Castro, with good patience on the first 2 pitches, gets a ball he can handle up and out over the plate and didn't try to pull it, stayed right on it, drove it to the opposite field.
Fastball missing high to Joe Mather. Cubs have 5 hits in the game. They've hit for the cycle. 2 singles, a double, a triple, and a home run.
Dale Swaim is just glad to see some extra base hits. There's the old Harry Carey line. Cubs offense is like Rush Street. Lots of singles, very little scoring.
Well, they've scored 2 so far tonight. And have come back to tie the game after the Pirates scored 2 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Here's Alvarez across, low throw, scooped up by Haig. But the Cubs tie the game at 2 on the RBI triple off the bat of Castro. Pedro Alvarez will bat second for the Pirates when we return to Pittsburgh. sponsored by Chevrolet, proud to support youth baseball in cities and towns across the country. Bottom of the 5th inning from PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Pirates and Cubs deadlocked at 2. Part of the order for the Pirates: Andrew McCutchen, Pedro Alvarez, and Neil Walker. Pirates scored 2 in the 3rd. Cubs have come back with runs in the 4th and 5th innings. McCutchen takes ball 1. Infield single in the 1st. Intentionally walked, came around to score in the 3rd. An all-star last season, one of 3 Pirates who represented the franchise. Grew up in Fort Meade, Florida, 30 miles east of Tampa. First-round pick in 2005. Holland missing away, and McCutchen heads down to first. Pirates have the leadoff man on against Mahalam for the 3rd time in 5 innings.
Kenny, in my opinion, besides the 9th inning, the 5th inning presents a lot of tough decisions for a manager. Now, this is a tie ball game here, but if Paul Mahalam can get through this 5th inning and his team could score some runs for him in the 6th, he's on the line for a possible win in the game. And a lot of times a manager gets caught up in that emotion of trying to get a guy a win as McCutchen takes off and will steal the bag without a throw. Although because of the 10-game losing streak, I think Dale Swaim is going to do what he thinks is best in his gut, is to try to get his team a win tonight and get off the schneid. Great jump by McCutchen over at first base. Really tough pitch for Blake Lally to handle. Anytime that catcher has to reach out to his left like that, it makes it very tough to get the ball back into a throwing position. And with McCutchen's speed, no sense risking a bad throw.
Now 1-2 on Alvarez, who signaled home the Pirates' first run back in the 3rd inning.
Well, Kenny, we heard Matt Askergen talking about the Tampa Bay Rays and how they shift more than any team in baseball. The Cubs are jumping on that bandwagon as well. Dale Swaim really likes to swing his infield defense around. He doesn't see the upside in putting a defender where a guy never hits the ball.
Alvarez hits this one to the right side, moving McCutchen over to 3rd. So it's 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. We'd like to welcome the men and women in uniform serving around the world watching tonight's broadcast in 175 countries on the American Forces Network. Thank you for all you do, and we hope you are enjoying tonight's telecast. As we mentioned earlier, in a salute to the troops on this Memorial Day weekend, the Pirates wearing the camouflage uniforms and special caps as well. Walker pops it up. Lally gets rid of the mask, makes the catch for out number 2. So Walker fouls out to his high school teammate, Blake Lally. 2 away.
A little over-aggressiveness on the part of Neil Walker that time. He'd hit the ball hard a couple times in this game. A single back in the 2nd, a sac fly to right field to drive in a run in the 3rd. That time jumping on the first offering for Paul Mahalam and popped up to his old high school teammate.
Pirates just 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. With 2 outs, here's Matt Haig, who singled his last time up. Pirates won last night's game 1-0. To Haig, fastball in for a called strike, 1-1.
Haig has had a couple good at-bats in the ball game as well. Flied out to center field. First time up, singled in that big third inning for the Pirates. But Mahalam needs to go right after him carefully here with Rod Barajas in the on-deck circle. We mentioned it earlier. Barajas has had Paul Mahalam's number in the past and has walked twice already tonight.
1-2 to Haig. Another fastball missing inside. 2-2.
Tried to start that sinker off the plate inside, freezing Haig, and then get some movement back toward that inside corner, but didn't get it back there far enough. Slider in time, inside that time. It looks like they feel they'd rather pound Haig inside than give him anything he can extend his arms on. He's shown good power on pitches from the middle of the plate away.
Casey Coleman, right-hander up in the Cubs pen. You saw pitching coach Chris Bosio. Payoff pitch to Haig, and he fouls it off down the right field line. Two pitches for Mahalam. With 2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning. Runner on third, McCutchen. Former Pirate, they'll swing. Ball 4 to Haig. So he heads down to first. Pirates have runners on the corners for Rod Barajas. Well, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook for an interactive all-access pass to the MLB on Fox this season. Get a behind-the-scenes look at the broadcast as well as up-to-date news from around the league. Follow us on Twitter at MLB on Fox and on Facebook at facebook.com/Fox Sports. Have you joined the Twitter world yet, Bob?
No. I'm not a Facebook guy. I'm a face-to-face guy.
There you go. Barajas sends this one to deep center field, but it will stay in the ballpark. The catch is made by Mather. So the Pirates strand 2 more base runners in the 5th. DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. And by the makers of Bayer Advanced Aspirin, the official pain reliever of Major League Baseball. We move to the 6th here in Pittsburgh. Kenny Albert, Bob Brenly, baseball night in America. Pirates and Cubs tied at 2. Tonight's aerial shots brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Nice play by Haig. Takes it to the bag himself to retire Brian LaHare for out number 1.
Good reactions by Matt Haig, playing extremely deep there at first base with the left-handed pull hitter LaHare up there. Makes a nice backhanded play. Decides to take it himself.
So here's Soriano, who took Correa deep back in the 4th inning. Prior to Soriano's at bat, Bob, the Cubs had scored in only 4 of their prior 59 innings. And Soriano's home run was the 3rd straight Cubs run that came via the solo home run. And then Castro tripled in the Jesus in the 5th. So the Cubs have actually scored now in back-to-back innings.
Swain might need some ammonia caps or smelling salts down in that first base dugout. He hasn't seen this kind of offensive explosion in quite some time.
Well, I asked Dale before the game about his message to the team as they have gone through this 10-game losing streak. He said you have to stay positive. Hitting is contagious. It goes in cycles. Also chatted with Dale about some of the great managers he played for throughout his career. Jim Leland, Tony La Russa, Joe Torre, Gene Lamont, Tom Trebelhorn. And he took a little piece from every one of them.
Well, he comes off as a real no-nonsense guy. Rarely smiles. Doesn't joke around a lot. Very serious about his job. Very serious about going about his business every day with the team. But those who are close to him know a different side.
Soriano down on strikes for out number 2. Second strikeout for Correa. Our Jeep game summary. 2-2 game, top of the 6th inning. The starters, Maholm and Correa. Starlin Castro with the RBI triple. Tying the game at 2, snapping the Cubs' 0 for 26 slump with runners in scoring position. Ian Stewart takes a call strike, 0-1. So how much did you smile as manager of the Diamondbacks?
Well, not a lot. Even though I had a real good team and we won a lot of ball games, not a lot to smile about during the course of the game. You're always trying to think a little bit ahead, try to look for those matchups late in the ball game. It can be stress-inducing, Kenny.
I know you smiled after that last game in 2001.
Oh, yeah, haven't stopped since.
You were telling me earlier about the 10-year reunion last year.
Yeah, they had the 10-year reunion back in Arizona last year and invited all the players, coaches on that 01 team to come back, and nearly had full attendance. It was just a tremendous weekend. The current organization did a great job of hosting the members of the 01 championship team. A lot of fun.
Barnes fires across to retire Stewart. A 1-2-3, 10-pitch, 6th inning for Kevin Correa.
All night in America, Phillies and Cards. The Phillies are exacting revenge on the team that eliminated them from the postseason last year. John Mabry doubling in a run, 4-0 Phils. They try to make it 3 in a row over the defending World Series champs. How about the Rockies and Reds? Cincinnati jumped on Jeremy Guthrie for 4 in the first, and they're adding on. Devin Mesoraco won a game 2 nights ago with a grand slam solo shot here. Reds on top 6-3. Back to Kenny and Bob in the Steel City.
And Matt, the Reds will visit the Steel City for 3 games beginning on Monday. Cincinnati by a half game over the St. Louis Cardinals in the NL Central.
Yeah, division is really wide open at this point. The Brewers thought they were going to be a lot better than they played up to this point. The Pirates have been a big surprise, as have been the Houston Astros. But the 2 teams at the top, I think everybody pretty much thought were going to be at the top of the division.
Here in Pittsburgh, Cubs and Pirates tied at 2. As 24-year-old right-hander Casey Coleman comes on in relief of Paul Maholm, who allowed 2 runs on 4 hits in 5 innings. Facing his former club for the first time. Maholm allowed 10 base runners through 94 pitches, but only 2 of them scored.
Yeah, I think all in all, given the conditions here tonight and the way Maholm had to labor, Dale Swaim has to be pretty pleased with that performance. Did a real nice job of damage control in that third after allowing 2 runs. Stranded the bases loaded. It really wasn't easy for the left-hander tonight, but he got his team here into the 6th inning. Surrendered only 2 runs.
Pirates have left 8 men on base. 1-2 now on Clint Barnes, who grounded out with the bases loaded to end the 3rd inning after the Pirates had already scored 2 runs. Coleman, a 3rd-generation Major League pitcher, called up 2 weeks ago, making his 5th appearance with the Cubs this season.
He's got a variety of pitches. He'll change his arm angles. He'll drop down sidearm. He'll throw up over the top. You can see the unusual windup. His first movement is toward home plate. He turns his body to the side almost in a stretch position, then turns his back to the hitter before ultimately delivering the pitch.
He strikes out Barnes for out number 1. Next Saturday on Baseball Night in America, these same Cubs will be in San Francisco to take on the Giants. Some of you will see the Yankees and the Tigers, Diamondbacks, Padres, Reds, Astros, or Twins and Indians. Baseball Night in America, presented by Budweiser, begins next Saturday at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on Fox. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area. Kevin Correa has grounded out twice. That deceiving delivery of Coleman that you talked about, Bob, what does that do to a catcher?
Well, Blake Lawley knows Casey Coleman very well, and once you see that arm angle, you have a better idea what that pitch is going to do and how it's going to react as it gets into the hitting zone. But we saw the pitch before that breaking ball for strike 3 to Correa. He threw straight over the top at 92 and got Correa to foul it way off to the first base side. He can be really sneaky quick when he sneaks up and throws directly over the top.
Coleman has thrown 7 pitches, 6 strikes, 2 strikeouts. Now Tabata steps in. He's grounded out to short twice and was also hit by a pitch. Came around to score the Pirates' first run back in the 3rd inning. Two outs, bottom of the 6th. Cubs and Pirates tied at 2. Again, it's the shortstop Castro, and he throws out Tabata for the 3rd time tonight. We'll return after these messages from your local Fox station. We welcome you back to Baseball Night in America, presented by Chevrolet. Kenny Albert, Bob Brentley. Cubs and Pirates tied at 2, top of the 7th inning, as Darwin Barney leads off against Kevin Correa. Barney 0 for 2. Tonight's aerial shots brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Well, our statistician, Marty Aronoff, one of the greats, a huge sports fan. Marty was a Penn State senior listening to the radio broadcast 53 years ago tonight. One of the greatest pitching performances of all time. Harvey Haddix of the Pirates in Milwaukee. 12 perfect innings before losing the game in the 13th. Right field, Harrison, one away. And Marty sat there, listened to the entire broadcast with Bob Prince and Jim Woods. May 26th, 1959. 53 years ago tonight.
Shouldn't he have been studying or something?
That's what I said.
Well, that's the kind of ball game that will make a lasting memory. No question about it. I think all of us of a certain age remember sitting in the bedroom with the transistor radio up to your ear, barely able to hear the announcers calling a game. And to hear a game like that had to be special.
Here's Blake Lally with one away. And how about the other starting pitcher that night? Lou Burdett went 13 innings, did not allow a run, picked up the win.
Not bad. The bullpens had the night off, I guess.
Marty, were you keeping score while you were listening on the radio?
Of course he was.
He shakes his head yes. A 1-1 to Lally in front of 60 friends and family members. Now 1-2. Lally 0 for 2 tonight. 1 for 8 as a Cub. Jeff Baker on deck to bat for Casey Coleman. Pine Richland High School, Gibsonia, Pennsylvania. Teammate of Neil Walker. And a Southern League All-Star each of the last 3 seasons. Attended Gardner-Webb University.
Yeah, catching tonight, but he's really a utility guy. He plays a lot of first base, third base. He can play corner outfield positions. I mentioned all the injury problems that the Cubs have had this year behind the dish. So he's going to get some opportunities to go behind the plate.
Payoff pitch from Correa, ball 4, so Lally will head down to first. Second walk issued by Correa tonight. Time now for our Just for Men Auto Stop Foolproof Stat.
Well, we talked about the Pirates' struggles. How few runs have they scored this year? They've been outscored by every professional team in baseball. The Rochester Red Wings have scored 152 runs in AAA. Richmond Flying Squirrels, don't you love that, Rocky and Bullwinkle? 167 runs in AA, and the Rome Braves 156 in full season A-ball. 150 teams, and the Pirates are dead last.
But they have scored 2 tonight. Baker was in the on-deck circle. He was pulled back for Adrian Cardenas. And now a pitching change by Clint Hurdle. third. He's responsible for the runner Lally on at first. Correa replaced by 26-year-old left-hander Tony Watson, who will face the pinch hitter Adrian Cardenas.
And the lone lefty in Clint Hurdle's bullpen. To be very judicious when you drop that lefty in there. Clint Hurdle feels like this could possibly be a turning point in the ball game here.
And Cardenas sends this one into the right field corner. Lally around third, waved home. Throw to the plate is in time, and Lally is tagged out by Barajas.
Third base coach Pat Lista is being very aggressive with the lack of runs recently for the Cubs. Perfect relay throw that time by Harrison to Walker. On a hop to Barajas. He turns around to block the plate, and the runner's not there yet. Ollie was leaking a little bit of oil coming around third base.
So Neil Walker throws out his high school teammate at the plate.
Man, meet you at the reunion.
Walker fouled out to Lally earlier. He stole second on Lally, and now he throws it out at the plate. Welcome home, Blake.
Well, now Blake was a senior when Neil was a freshman, so maybe there was some hazing going on back there, and Neil's just trying to get payback.
Some bullying, perhaps?
Yeah. Good jump by Lally at first base. Read that ball off the bat extremely well. Just took a perfect relay from the Pirates, and it was absolutely perfect. Harrison got the ball quickly to Walker, who got his body into a good position to make the throw on a hop to Barajas.
So a double for the pinch hitter Cardenas. He moved to third on the throw. De Jesus doubled and scored his last time up. So the Cubs, Bob, have had two base runners thrown out at the plate tonight.
And I would venture to guess, Kenny, that they're going to get a lot of guys thrown out at the plate this year because of the lack of power in the lineup. They just feel like every time they get a base runner on, if they've got an opportunity to put pressure on the defense, they're going to force those guys to make two perfect throws to get an out at home plate, and that time the Pirates did it.
Called strike on the outside corner, now 3-1. Top of the seventh inning, 2-2 game in Pittsburgh. Ball four, De Jesus heads down to first. And now Clint Hurdle back out to the mound. And we will see the third Pirates pitcher of the inning. It will be the right-hander Brad Lincoln, who turned 27 years of age yesterday. He will come in to face Starlin Castro. back. Some of entertainment and baseball's biggest stars scheduled to visit and appear in Fan Cave videos. Check out all the latest Cave happenings at MLBFanCave.com. There's George Brett. We saw Arsenio Hall. Follow MLB Fan Cave on Twitter and like the MLB Fan Cave on Facebook. First and third for the Cubs. 2 outs, top of the 7th inning. Brad Lincoln having a terrific season, has allowed only 1 earned run in 17 innings. Has not allowed a run here at home, an earned run. And he has retired each of the last 8 batters he has faced overall.
Real good curveball from Brad Lincoln along with that fastball. An occasional straight changeup. He's even started a ball game this year for Clint Hurdle.
Castro 1 for 3. He tripled in the tying run back in the 5th inning. Two-order Castro in for a called strike, now 2-1.
Castro liked that one too much. He's trying to be more patient at the plate, get better pitches to hit, and a 2-0 count. A fastball he thought was below the knees. Lincoln's going to go with that curveball again and again. Old number 2.
The 2-2, and he strikes out Castro to end the inning. Castro slams his bat and his helmet. Cubs strand 2, 7th inning stretch time in Pittsburgh. Presented by Chevrolet is sponsored by Prudential. Prudential, bring your challenges. And by Olympic, maximum stain and sealant in one. Bottom of the 7th inning here in Pittsburgh. Pirates and Cubs tied at 2. 36-year-old right-hander Sean Camp, the 3rd Cubs pitcher tonight. Bob, Camp has the last 2 Cubs victories. May 13th in Milwaukee, May 14th in St. Louis. They have lost their last 10.
He's been the rubber arm reliever out of that Cubs bullpen, along with James Russell from the left side. Sean Kemp pitching in his 22nd game of the season. Sinker slider guy will try to lead hitters out of the strike zone, chasing that sinking fastball.
They will face Harrison, McCutchen, and Alvarez here in the 7th. Pirates scored 2 in the 3rd. Cubs came back with runs in the 4th and the 5th innings after a 1-0 Pirates victory last night. First pitch to Harrison is a called strike, 0-1. Harrison 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. Cubs starter Paul Maholm, the ex-Pirate, allowed 2 runs in 5 innings. A perfect 6th for Casey Coleman, who struck out 2. Harrison fouls it off to the right side. Now 1-2.
Sidearm action that time from Sean Kemp, trying to get a little extra movement on that sinker. We talked a lot about the Lolly Walker connection in high school. Josh Harrison and Cubs outfielder Tony Campana went to the University of Cincinnati together. Campana with blazing speed. Harrison pretty fast in his own right. Having a little good-natured ribbing out behind the batting cage yesterday. Who was faster? And Josh said, "I would race you, but I just ate lunch. I feel a little heavy right now." There's Tony Campana.
On the ground to the shortstop, Castro. 1 away. Well, Bob, earlier today, Pittsburgh native Sean Casey, the mayor, along with his wife Mandy's charity, Casey's Clubhouse, led opening day festivities for the inaugural season of the Miracle League of the South Hills at the Upper St. Clair Community and Recreation Center in Boyce, Bayview Park. The Pirates Charities Miracle League Field at the South Hills, providing special needs children with a place they can play baseball regardless of their challenges.
That's great. Congratulations to the mayor and all those young boys and girls that are going to have an opportunity to play some ball.
One out, bottom of the 7th inning. Andrew McCutchen has reached base 3 times tonight. An infield single and 2 walks. And Bob, this MLB on Fox season, Fox Sports is proud to support Boys and Girls Clubs of America, a place where youth can reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens. To learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. Baseball Night in America, the second of 8 consecutive Saturday nights of primetime baseball on Fox. McCutchen, broken bat, base hit into left field. So McCutchen is on base now for the 4th time tonight after he welcomed our viewers at the start of the telecast.
Well, we highlighted Starlin Castro and Andrew McCutchen, and they have come through in this ball game. McCutchen this time with a broken bat floater into shallow left field. Now you got to keep a close eye on him over there at first base. Already 1 steal in the ball game back in the 5th inning after he drew a walk.
First hit for the Pirates since the 3rd inning. Sizzling during the month of May.
I have a feeling he's going to be sizzling in June and July and August and September as well.
Pirates certainly hope so. Here's Pedro Alvarez. Single hit a run back in the 3rd inning.
Well, Sean Kemp is going to have to pay an inordinate amount of attention to Andrew McCutchen over there at first base. Blake Lally, as I mentioned before, really more of a utility player than a full-time catcher, getting the nod here tonight. But he's had some trouble throwing to second base, and Camp is going to have to really hold McCutchen. This should be another pickoff attempt at first. If nothing else, just try to get the Pirates center fielder to shorten up his lead by a half a step, maybe take some of the spring out of his legs, forcing him to dive back into that bag a few times, and then mix in some slide steps to home plate, trying to cut down on the jump. Just in case Dale Swain was thinking about the possibility of a pitch out, that's a very important pitch in the sequence right there. Jump ahead in the count to give yourself some pitches to play with. If you think McCutchen is going to run, it's much easier for a manager to call a pitch out if his pitcher's ahead in the count than if he's behind in the count. Sets up well for Alvarez. Anytime McCutchen can get on base ahead of him, because he is a pull hitter, it opens a little bit of a hole on that right side of the infield, but the Cubs take some of that hole away with their exaggerated pull shift. See, Darwin Barney is way over toward the hole between first and second. Starlin Castro nearly straight up the middle of the field. In a normal defensive alignment, there would be a huge hole on that right side of the field for Alvarez to try to hit through.
McCutchen takes his lead off first. And Camp throws over for the fourth time. Pitch out, 2-1.
Clint Hurdle seems to be enjoying all this cat and mouse over there at first base. I would assume that Andrew McCutchen has the green light to run whenever he feels like he can get a jump, unless his skipper gives him the red light.
There he goes. The throw from Lally. Not in time. Second steal of the game for Andrew McCutchen. So McCutchen wins the cat and mouse game.
Pretty good jump that time. Better pitch to handle this time for Blake Lally. Just too much speed over there at first base. He just outruns the throw to second.
So the Pirates have a runner in scoring position. 2-2 the count with one out. Bottom of the seventh inning.
Now, once again, because of the defensive shift, it's going to make it tougher now for McCutchen to get a good lead at second, because Castro's playing right behind him. Normally, if you have your middle infielder split in what we would call a quote-unquote normal position, it would give McCutchen an opportunity not only to get a big primary lead, but to get a huge secondary lead. But as it is, Starlin Castro is right off of his left shoulder. Sean Camp, by far the more veteran of the battery mate there, and going to explain to Blake Lally exactly what he wants to do here on this 2-2 pitch, and possibly on the pitch that will follow. And with a base open, it wouldn't surprise me if this is a semi-pitch around situation to set up a potential inning-ending double play.
With Neil Walker waiting on deck. Payoff pitch to Alvarez, and he shoots it into left field. Moving to his right, Soriano. He's under it. 2 away. Cubs will intentionally walk Walker. Pitch to Matt Haig. Two runs on 6 hits for the Cubs. 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Pirates. Now first and second, McCutchen on at second. Walker heads down to first. An opportunity for Matt Haig, who is 1 for 2. Walked his last time up in the 5th.
His first 3 at-bats in this ball game, the Cubs have tried to get inside on Matt Haig. That's not usually Sean Camp's game. He's normally a guy that will show you a sinker inside, possibly off the plate inside, and then go right back onto that outside corner with sinkers and sliders.
A 1-0 from Camp. Missing low and away. Ball 2. Two on, 2 out. Bottom of the 7th inning in a 2-2 game. Castro, nice play. As McCutchen crossed in front of him. Pirates strand 2 in the 7th. They've left 10 on in the game. We remain deadlocked at 2.
Timmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon tackle stock car racing's longest, toughest event, racing into the night in the Coca-Cola 600 on Fox.
The 8th inning in a 2-2 game. Kenny Albert, Bob Brentley. Joe Mather will lead off for the Cubs. Facing Brad Lincoln, who came on and struck out Starlin Castro with 2 men on in the Cubs 7th. Ryan LaHare on deck, then Alfonso Soriano.
Mather has bunted for a base hit one time this year leading off an inning. He's shown bunt a couple of other times when he's been leading off. But Dale Swaim has him in the lineup for his extra base power. Had an unbelievable Cactus League down in Arizona. And Mather, as the skipper has said, is going to get a lot more playing time. Hopefully get some extra base hits, hit some balls in the seats, and jumpstart this offense.
Fox Saturday baseball viewers may recall that Mather pitched 2 innings for the St. Louis Cardinals back in April of 2010. He took the loss, pitched the 19th and 20th innings. I was there along with Tim McCarver for all 20. Game was scoreless through 18. Mets scored a run in the top of the 19th. Cardinals tied it in the bottom of the 19th inning.
Joe Mather's a very versatile player, but I think that's something that Dale Swaim and the Cubs would like to avoid, having Joe go out to the bump again. That means things have gone way sideways.
Payoff pitch from Lincoln, foul back to the screen. Cubs looking to end a 10-game losing streak. Their last win came in St. Louis back on May the 14th. Cubs scored their runs in the 4th on a Soriano solo home run. And then in the 5th, 2-out double off the bat of DeJesus, and then he was driven in by Starlin Castro, who tripled down the right field line. Another foul, so Mather stays alive. Beautiful night in Pittsburgh, 3rd sellout of the season for the Pirates. On fireworks night, 38,132 on hand. And they get ready for the 9th pitch of the at-bat from Lincoln to Mather. Popped up to the right side in foul territory. Haig makes the catch for out number 1. Now for a preview of tomorrow's Coca-Cola 600 on Fox, here's Mike Joy.
Sunday at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Danica Patrick and NASCAR's top drivers, including Dale Earnhardt Jr., Timmy Johnson, and Jeff Gordon, tackle stock car racing's longest, toughest event, racing into the night in the Coca-Cola 600 on Fox.
Thanks, Mike. We look forward to it. 5:30 Eastern from Charlotte. The Coca-Cola 600 tomorrow on Fox. Brian LaHare swings at the first pitch and flies out to McCutchen in center field. So 2 away for Alfonso Soriano, who took Kevin Correa deep back in the 4th inning.
Way deep to straightaway center field.
As we were busy chatting with Manny Sanguillen.
Yeah. As you watch Soriano run, you can really see him limping on that bad left knee. He's had a chronically bad left knee to begin with, but he got hit by a pitch by Sean Markham and the Milwaukee Brewers just above that left knee in retaliation for a Ryan Braun beating, and he has really been limping around carrying that left leg behind him. Does not want to come out of the lineup. Has continued to play. His manager has continued to play him. And it coincides with his hottest stretch of the season, especially with the long ball.
On the ground to the right side, Hay to Lincoln covering. And the Cubs are retired in order in the 8th. Soriano hobbling down the line. New Just for Men auto stop. It's foolproof. Gray is over. And by Dodge. Visit your local Dodge dealer today. Back in Pittsburgh, tonight's aerial shots brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Sean Camp working his second inning of relief, and Rod Barajas sends this one into left center. Catch is made by the center fielder Mather, calling off Soriano. 1 away.
That's a bailout area of this ballpark. 410 feet out to that Bermuda Triangle area next to the bullpens. The ball was struck pretty well by Rod Barajas. Just didn't get much carry. No wind whatsoever here at PNC Park tonight. You can get some cheap home runs right down the left field line or straight away right field, but you've got to hit it a ton to get it out in that area.
So with 1 away, here's Clint Barmas. Garrett Jones has come out into the on-deck circle. The bat for the pitcher, Brad Lincoln. The 0-2 from Camp. Chased by Barbas. He strikes out for the second time tonight. Now 2 away. Well, this July, don't miss the biggest event of the summer as baseball's greatest stars battle for home field advantage in the Fall Classic. The road to the World Series begins with the 2012 Major League Baseball All-Star Game, Tuesday, July 10th, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox. You had the opportunity, Bob, to manage in the All-Star Game back in 2002.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, the game ended up tied, causing all kinds of problems, but what a great experience. You walk into that clubhouse and see all those name tags and uniforms hanging in the lockers, and wish you could have that team every day.
And then you try and get everybody into the game. Garrett Jones, no hits in his last 9 at bats. 1 for 7 as a pinch hitter. There's Joel Hanrahan of the Pirates' pen.
I'm sure the Pirates are desperately hoping that Garrett Jones can return to form. He's a guy that provides some instant offense, back-to-back 21 homer years and then 16 last year. Especially with that short porch in right field here at PNC Park. This is a guy that could really do some damage if he could get it going with the bat.
Two outs, bottom of the 8th inning. Tied at 2. Bob, how about Albert Pujols tonight? He had his first home run on May 6th. And tonight, on May 26th, hit number 7.
Well, I remember last season, Kenny, when everybody was writing off Albert Pujols and asking, geez, is he done? He got off to a slow start in the month of April last year, but he came around the way everybody thought he would, and I have full confidence he'll do the same thing again this year.
Called strike 3. So 3 scoreless innings for the Cubs bullpen, Coleman and Camp. We head to the 9th, tied at 2. Night in America on Fox, presented by Chevrolet. Top of the 9th inning, Pirates and Cubs deadlocked at 2. Joel Hanrahan, the fourth Pirates pitcher of the evening, picked up his 11th save last night. Will face Ian Stewart, who is 0 for 2 tonight with a walk.
Did give up a couple of base hits in that ninth inning last night, but came back to strike out David DeJesus and Starlin Castro to end the ball game.
Strike one to Stewart, with Darwin Barney waiting on deck. Pirates scored 2 in the third. Cubs came back with runs in the fourth and fifth innings to tie the game. The 0-2 from Hanrahan. Stewart down on strikes, one away. So a 1-0 Pirates win last night. 2-2 in the ninth tonight, Bob. More like a hockey playoff game than a World Cup soccer game.
Well, and I'm sure both managers feel that way. Every base runner becomes so precious. Every out becomes so big in a ball game. And we saw the runs early in the game today. The Pirates scored in the third. The Cubs came right back with single runs in the fourth and fifth. We thought we might see some more runs, but pitchers have really stepped up out of the bullpen for both teams.
Well, we'll see at least one more. Darwin Barney 0 for 3 tonight.
Hanrahan at times can be just flat overpowering with that fastball. Occasionally loses command of his slider. He will walk some guys on occasion. But he's tough to square up. He's given up a hit in only 6 of his 17 outings coming into tonight.
No balls, 2 strikes. Blake Lally on deck. Hanrahan delivers. Now 1-2 on Barney. Looking ahead, Pirates will have the top of the order due up in the bottom of the ninth. We saw Chris Resop in the Pittsburgh pen. 1-2. Check swing. Vargas over to Haig, 2 away.
Runs per game this season. Pirates under 3 runs per game. I think you have to go back to 1917 to find a Pirates team that scored under 3 runs a game for an entire season. And the Cubs not much better. A tick under 3.5 per game. And obviously it's a huge effect on your offense. You're not getting hits. You're not scoring runs. Puts a lot of strain on your pitching staff as well.
How about that? Lowest team batting average in a single season. Pirates at 217 this season. Oakland Athletics at 210. No surprise that this is a low-scoring, close game. Pirates lead the league in 1-run games with 21. And the Cubs, during their current 10-game losing streak, have lost 5 of those 10 by 1 run.
Well, at the risk of sounding like a crusty old-timer, Kenny, the difference for me is the pitchers. Everybody throws in the 90s now, mid-90s, upper 90s. Back in my playing days and before, I used to talk about a guy that threw 90 on a pitching staff. That was the exception. Most guys pitched in the high 80s, had a good breaking ball, changed speeds, moved the ball around the zone. But now you've got one flamethrower after another coming out of that bullpen.
That last pitch from Hanrahan, 96. And now on the 88-mile-per-hour pitch, he strikes out Lally. Top of the order, bottom of the ninth, tied at 2. Welcome back to Baseball Night in America on Fox. Bottom of the ninth inning in Pittsburgh, 2-2 game. 2 runs on 6 hits for the Cubs, 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Pirates. The fourth pitcher of the night for the Cubs, 24-year-old right-hander Rafael Dolis, making his 22nd appearance.
Lead pipe sinker, throws a very, very heavy sinking fastball in the low to mid 90s. We'll mix in a slurvy slider on occasion. Very unusual numbers for the right-hander Dolis. He's held lefties to an .077 batting average. However, right-handers hitting .362 against him.
And he will face 3 right-handers, Tabata, Harrison, and McCutchen in a 2-2 game. Great job by our entire crew tonight here in Pittsburgh. Producer Larry Lancaster, director John Moore, associate director Kathy Hunt, broadcast associate Alex Strand, the executive producers of the pregame show, Don Bowie and Mike Santini, the producer Rich Ciansimono, the director Mark Deaver, Marty Ardoff, and David Corris crunching the numbers for us here in Pittsburgh. Jose Tabata will lead off. He has grounded out 3 times to the shortstop Castro, and he was also hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning. Came around to score a run. Pirates have only 1 hit since the 3rd inning. That was from McCutchen in the 7th.
You can see Ian Stewart at third base, well off the line. Another thing Dale Swaim doesn't believe in is protecting against an area where the guy rarely hits the ball.
It's up the middle, a base hit into center field off the bat of Tabata. So the leadoff bat is on for the Pirates here in the bottom of the 9th.
Three sack bunts on the season for Josh Harrison. With a single ball pitcher on the mound, you really run the risk of grounding into a double play if you swing away with the runner at first base. So even though I know it's something Clint Hurdle doesn't like to do, I think we're going to see a sack bunt here.
He already has one today back in the 3rd inning, which helped lead to the first Pittsburgh run. He moved Tabata from 1st to 2nd back in the 3rd inning. Harrison squares, ball 1. Third base coach Nick Lema. Tabata takes his lead off first. Bottom of the 9th inning, nobody out with Harrison at the plate. 2-0.
Harrison's job is to bunt that ball to the right side of the field, force Brian LaHare or Rafael Dolis, the pitcher, to field the ball on the right side. Dolis has had some issues throwing to hitters who were trying to put down sacrifice bunts. 10 strikeouts on the season against 13 walks. And this particular situation has given him trouble.
From the blimp. Ball 3.
No secret what Dolis is going to do. He's going to just keep pounding that sinker in there until Harrison either bunts the ball or he reaches first on a base on balls. You don't try to incorporate your breaking pitch behind 3-0 in the count to a guy who's trying to give you an out.
A 3-0 from Dolis. Now 3-1.
But with decent speed over there at first base, 9 stolen base attempts on this season. He's been successful 5 times. So it's sinker.
First and second for the Pirates with nobody out.
Andrew McCutchen to bunt? I don't think so. For me, no. He's the hottest hitter on this roster in the month of May. Been swinging about well tonight. You've got a runner in scoring position already. Of course, as I said earlier, the risk you run against a sinker ball pitcher is hitting a ground ball right at somebody for a double play.
McCutchen, no sacrifices this season, 3 in his career. He's reached base 4 times tonight. 2 hits, 2 walks. First and second, nobody out. Bottom of the 9th inning, tied at 2. Terrific work by both bullpens up until this point. But the first 2 Pirates have reached base here in the bottom of the 9th against Dolis. Top of the runner on second. Harrison over at first. Cubs pitching coach Chris Fazio. 1-1 the count on McCutchen. As the Cubs look to avoid an 11th consecutive defeat. 1-2.
Nobody on base, this might be a situation where you'd see Dolis go to that slider, but 2 runners on base, including the potential winning run in scoring position. I think he's got to stay with his hard sinker. Oh, what a stop. You don't have the luxury of shifting your body over and getting in front of a 93-mile-an-hour sinker over in the left-handed batter's box. I mentioned Blake DeWitt's had some experience at first base, and he needed it on that one.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And McCutchen is down on strikes. First out of the inning.
And he did go to the slider. Possibly the lack of command on the sinker scared him into his off-speed pitch. First pitch was fouled off. That was a sinker. Then he misses low in the dirt. Comes back with another hard sinker down and in. Nice stop by Lally on that one over in the left-handed batter's box. And then the slider, bottom part of the strike zone, gets the swing and a miss.
So now 1 away. Runners on first and second for Pedro Alvarez. 1 for 4, drove in a run back in the 3rd inning. Alvarez facing Dolis for the first time. First pitch, ball 1. Cubs, tied at 2. Tabata, a leadoff single. A walk to Harrison. McCutchen struck out. A 1-0 from Dolis. 1-1.
I know it's not a big part of Pedro Alvarez's game, but he really needs to think about trying to hit this ball to the opposite field. Number one, that sinking fastball. If you try to pull it, chances are you're going to hit a ground ball to the right side of the infield. Number two, the Cubs have that little mini shift on again. There's a lot more territory on the left side of the field to get the ball through for a base hit.
Alvarez sends this one to deep center field. Mather is under it. He makes the catch. Advancing to third is Tabata. Now 2 away with the potential winning run 90 feet from home plate.
That was a loud out right there. Pedro Alvarez narrowly missed hitting that ball out into the Allegheny River. Mile in the air to deep center field. That sinker on the inside part of the plate. Looked like Alvarez thought he got enough of it to get it out of here, but Mather able to track it down on the warning track. Tabata able to tag and advance to third, which becomes significant when you have a sinker ball pitcher that's throwing a lot of pitches in the dirt.
So 2 away, here's Neil Walker. Drove in a run with a sacrifice fly back in the 3rd inning. Taking second is Harrison with no throw from Lally. Nice block by Lally. 2-0.
On the slider, able to get over there. A little bit slower pitch. You can react to it a little bit quicker. Put your body in a good position. That's a good take right there by Neil Walker. That sinker on the outside corner at the bottom of the kneecaps. You can't do much with it anyway. You might as well take in the 2-0 count. Still got some pitches to play with in the at-bat here.
From Dolis is low, ball 3.
Another nice block by Lally on a breaking pitch in the dirt. That ball hit out in front of home plate.
Matt Haig on deck. Second and third, 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th inning. Tied at 2. Walker awaiting the 3-1 from Dolis. Walker heads down to first. Base is loaded for Matt Haig.
Saw a similar pitch called strike 3 on Garrett Jones in the Pirates' last trip to the plate. This time Dolis can't quite get that slider to come back far enough to get the called strike, loading him up.
Pitching coach Chris Pasio heading out to the mound. Pirates at first and second with nobody out. Dolis struck out Andrew McCutchen. Alvarez flat out to deep center field. Moving Tomino over to third. And then a walk to Neil Walker. Setting up a bases loaded opportunity for Matt Haig.
Haig drew a base on balls back in the 5th inning, his first this year at the major league level. Throughout his minor league career, however, a very good eye at the plate. Had a couple of seasons where he walked as much as he struck out. So Dolis is going to have to throw in strikes.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th inning in Pittsburgh on Baseball Night in America.
Bob wants to talk to him so bad.
Sixth batter of the inning for the Pirates, and the first pitch from Dolis in for strike 1.
Extra G's on that one at 95. Takes some of the sink off the ball, but a little more velocity.
Two balls, 1 strike.
97 pitch elevated in the zone that time. And once again on Haig, the Cubs trying to stay inside, trying to take away some of that power from his extension. But Dolis has got to find that strike zone. That almost looked like a 4-seam fastball up there at the top of the zone, off the plate inside.
Two on Matt Haig. 2-2 game. 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th inning. Bases loaded. Haig gets hit by the pitch. Tomino comes home with the winning run. The Pirates defeat the Cubs 3-2. The Cubs lose their 11th straight game. For the Pirates, their 5th walk-off win of the season. They do it with a single, 2 walks, and a hit batsman with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Painful way to drive home the game winner, but Matt Haig will definitely take it.
Time for our Burger King smooth play of the day. 2-2 pitch from Rafael Dolis with 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning. And he hits Haig in the left hip. Tomino scores. And the Pirates, for the 2nd straight night, defeat the Chicago Cubs. For Bob Brentley and our entire crew, Kenny Albert saying so long from Pittsburgh on Baseball Night in America. Stay tuned for a complete wrap-up with Matt Vasgersian in the MLB Network studio along with Harold Reynolds. That's coming up right after these messages. Good night from Pittsburgh.